You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
I'm your host, Toriano Parker, with our super producer, Brother Jabbar Edmonds. We're located down on the Deuces on 22nd Street. I have a very, very distinguished guest today. He's our Chief of Staff of our City of St. Pete. His name is Kevin King, good friend of mine, a great friend to our show. I am so glad to have him on. Kevin, how you doing?
Doing good.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for coming. Kevin, I guess we'll go right with a question that has been buzzing through the internet, through the paper, so forth. The incident over at Clem Bayou with the spillage. There's a lot of spins. You can hear it a lot of different directions, but you know it's better to hear from sometimes the source. And since they named the city, maybe you can give them a different spin. What's your take on it, Kevin?
Well, first of all, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for the question. We had kind of a unusual weather event in late July and early August.
Okay.
The governor's office declared a state of emergency, and the mayor and city administration had an issue with capacity in the storage and sewage in the city, as did most cities in Tampa Bay. For example, the city of Tampa, I think, discharged 10 million gallons of raw sewage into the Hillsborough River. Wow. City of Gulfport had a couple 100,000 gallons. So it wasn't, St. Pete wasn't unique, but we did have a problem, and we had a less than ideal situation on our hands, and less than ideal choices to pick from.
Right.
One choice was to kind of allow things to happen naturally, which means sewage comes up through manhole covers,
Right.
Could reach front yards, could reach homes, down streets. That was an unacceptable outcome for this administration.
Right.
The sort of least worst outcome was to contain the discharge and put it into a stormwater retention pond,
Right.
sort of adjacent to or within the Clam Bayou Preserve area.
Right.
So the discharge that we put into the stormwater pond received some level of treatment,
Okay.
as rainwater does.
Right.
Ultimately, it was a less than ideal situation, but having South St. Pete or the city of Gulfport, specifically Childs Park, impacted by sewage inundating homes,
Right.
is unacceptable. So it wasn't a good time for the city. It wasn't a good time for Tampa Bay. We've got work to do.
Right.
And make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. Unfortunately, we're entering a sort of a new world as it relates to extreme weather
Right.
and climate events. And we just saw in South Carolina, for example, serious flooding, record rainfall. So we expect that we're going to have extreme weather in the future.
Right.
We expect that climate change is going to have an impact on the city of St. Petersburg. We have to continue to look at our infrastructure
Right.
to make sure that we're adapting to the times.
Right.
So that's what happened. You know, we are fortunate we didn't have major flooding.
Right.
We didn't have homes destroyed.
Right.
And we didn't have people, other than people who love Clam Bayou like the mayor does.
Right.
And they're going to have to put up with this for a while. But it's getting better.
Right.
And as of today, by the way, Clam Bayou and Bogaciga Bay are both within our Clean Beaches program.
Right. So for Kevin, for anybody that think like the unknown, what is the information that has been done that maybe the people don't know, and maybe they're just going on the impression of the incident and not really clearing up from the facts? Any different things that they should know, that if I want to go down there and throw a fishing pole in there, I mean, what kind of water are we talking about?
Well, look, I mean, I don't think, regardless of this spill
Right.
or the discharge, I think people ought to be cautious about where they put a fishing pole to start with.
Okay.
You know, areas that don't have a lot of wave action, current, typically are areas that in rainfall events get polluted from runoff. So you'll see in the city, if we close a Maximo Beach or we close North Shore Beach, Spa Beach, it's typically after a major rainfall, and then there's runoff and pollutants. And that happens. The county's constantly testing our water in this area.
Right.
But what people should know is that when the beaches are closed or the waterways are closed, to go somewhere else temporarily
Right.
and watch the signs, watch the postings,
Right.
and use good judgment.
Right.
But know that everything we do is based on data,
Right.
and we get lab results, and we'll close or open the beaches accordingly.
Hey, Kevin, any plans on any future city development? I know we have the CRA and so many other things going. What's y'all feeling? How you take that process going so far?
Well, the Mayor Kreisman's excited. We're all excited about the future as it relates to the CRA.
Right.
It's a really generational shift, we think. We're trying to create sustainable progress.
Right.
And this is something that could have a long-term sustainable impact on the community. We believe that revenues that come from the CRA will have a great impact on not just buildings, but people.
Right.
And I think that's what the Kreisman administration really separates us from a lot of what happened in the past,
Right.
which is there was an emphasis on building things.
Right.
And that's great, and we're doing that too. But the mayor and the deputy mayor, Nikki Capehart, Urban Affairs, the focus is on building opportunity. And if you build a grocery store and you don't have the money to shop there,
Right.
the grocery store is going to shut down.
Right.
So we're looking to build opportunity. We're looking to give people an opportunity to make money,
Right.
to create their own dreams,
Right.
to stay in this community,
Right.
to prosper here. And so that's the strategy, and it's about opportunity building and building dreams, really, and keeping the money here in the CRA in South St. Pete and on this 22nd Street corridor that's so important.
Right.
So we're not just building things; we're building people and opportunity. We're very excited about it.
No, I think how things have derived in the last few years, I've been super excited about the current administration. As because there's not a lot of infrastructure. I do see forward progress now with this administration. That's why I was so happy that when it was elected and you guys came on. I've been never more enthused. We have an administration that works with the community.
Right.
Very accessible, very obtainable. You know, to wait 3 months to get a meeting, that was to me somewhat the norm. So I was super excited about what's ahead of us, because I think the corridor really needed a corridor that had several businesses for years, Kevin. We're talking about dozens and dozens. It's kind of dwindling down to 10 or 11 right now. That nuance of development is so key to not only vital to the businesses that restore back to the area, but the community, because they need resources. That's why I didn't call it a neighborhood. We want to call it a community, because community have resources that have attainable. If you want to go down the street and get a coffee, that's kind of the struggles we have in this area. But we hope for some of that change, in addition to what the CRA should be able to do, and with some of the development that the city is allowing other individuals to come in. So,
well, you hit on the transportation. You should be able to walk anywhere on 22nd Street and
Yes.
get what you need.
Yes.
And not need to get on a bus or not need to own a car. And to see what's happening, and we're in the early stages of this.
Right.
But you're already seeing between Dell Holmes Park and the Warehouse Arts District,
Right.
all the way into Grand Central.
Right.
This corridor is, what's happening is really magical right now.
Right.
And you look right next door to us at Chiefs Creole, and just sit there and think where we are and what's unfolding right before our eyes.
Right.
I think the future is really bright. I think things are unfolding the right way.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's up to the people who live here.
Right.
They're in charge. They own this situation.
Right.
We're going to do all we can to help, but people that live here need to be a part of it, and that's why community is so important.
Kevin King just brought a great thing that he ended in his conversation. And myself, we're going to Cafe Creole next after we leave here. And I was definitely get a shout out, because Cafe Creole is one of our sponsors. So I would definitely want to give them Gallery 909, Sylvia's Lorraine Seafood, all these people that work so hard in this quarter to make us vibrant. Got definitely get shout out to them. Kevin had brought in a special guest on our next segment. Once we go to commercial, Leo McRae. I mean, you're going to be super. For you, an education enthusiast, she'll be our next guest on after our 2-minute break. This is Hard Hitting Radio. This is your host, Toriana Parker. We'll be right back to you after the commercial break. Thank you. Tune in again to your second segment of Hard Hitting Radio. I'm your host again, Toriana Park, along with our super executive producer, Jabbar Edmonds. As you know, in our first segment, we had our chief of staff, Kevin King, on, and he did a fantastic job letting us know what they're preparing, what the city has to offer us. Now we have a second staff, a member from the city of St. Petersburg, Leo McRae. We have been addressing the education system in the city. Everybody understands some of the problems we've been having. And what our administration here had to do, they decided to do something about it. And so if you cannot get excited about that, I don't know what you can get excited about. When you see a problem and you want to address it, and you put a special individual in there to address it. And this is my good friend, Lisa. Lisa, how are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank
You know,
you for
I said
having me
Lisa,
on.
that's Leo, excuse me. I get too excited, y'all. Leo, let us know. I know you just a few days on the job. What can people, especially our education enthusiasts, can look forward to the work that the administration going to do for us as education in our city?
Okay. Again, thank you for having me on.
No problem.
Well, let me start by telling you a little bit what I bring to the table.
Okay.
Right? So I'm an attorney by training, but I went to the public school system here in St. Petersburg.
Graduate of?
Graduate of Lakewood, Bay Vista, and Bay Point. We have to face the challenge in terms of improving conditions for our students. So you can look forward to me going out to our community and talking to all the right players in the right positions to be able to make conditions better. There's been too much negative talk about what is happening in our schools right now. We need the community to be engaged, which is part of my title.
Okay.
And that means everyone, from students, parents, school board members, community leaders, people who are already involved in the nonprofit world around these issues, to get engaged, to come up with real solutions that's going to improve our students' situation.
Yeah, they have a lot of nonprofits that work well with education now. Could they interact with the city, with you and your department?
Absolutely. My priority from day one on the job is trying to find out who's already doing what and get them together to try to come up with some common solutions towards the problem.
Wow, fantastic.
I'm absolutely accessible. Anyone can reach me on the phone or even email.
Can you tell us the number if someone wants to reach you?
Yes, you can reach me at 727-724-7174.
Leah, prior to this, were you involved in the education system by any chance?
My background is in organizing people.
Okay,
And so that, I think, brings a fresh perspective for this issue. Because there's so many fragmented people, so many people who are involved in seeing this community be successful in our education program. It's going to take an organizer to be able to bring those people together to create common sense solutions to help our struggling students.
Do you see any hurdles that you think we're going to have to taking the way the elementary schools they was talking about, where they rank that? Do you see any problems overcoming these issues?
There's going to be a lot of different opinions about what is wrong with the system. We want to try to address whatever problems people have. We have to operate within, you have to understand, the city doesn't control education policy in Pinellas County or the city of St. Petersburg. We have a school board, they control the policy.
Right.
So talking to them, working within their structure is going to be the first big challenge.
Right. As I said, I work with Lakewood Elementary, so I was very familiar with a lot of stuff that happened. I think about some of the systemic problems that was reported, I think some of it was a little off-centered to the fact that, I knew kids that was participating in that school, I knew the principals of some of those schools, and I knew how hard they worked in some parents. So I think some of the stuff that I kind of brought upon, I think you can layer it out and really put a fair balance, because I really think in that aspect, which I was very dear to, and as I was mentioning in our studio, Denise, who has been working in education, has homeschooled all our kids, and There's a lot of positive that comes out of the school system. So that's why it'd be good to have someone that have a perspective that can give us that, not as negative you see it, because they say, I came out of public school, you know, and some of these schools they're mentioning, a lot of us came out of them. And I mean, so it cannot go that bad. Do we understand its problems? Absolutely. But I think now to be able to put some kind of interaction, because we don't want to be making national news in that, because that hurts us at so many levels. If we want someone to move here, a company to move here, first thing I do is check out the school system. And I don't want them pulling like, wow, y'all put last in this, you know. We will like that balance, because I think we deserve it, because we have a great county. We have a great city. You know, we're surrounded by water on 3 sides. Who wouldn't want to live here? But we won't deter nobody because of the education system. So that's why I'm so glad, you know, they're bringing you on in your interaction with the community and nonprofits that's already working so hard, so diligently with our kids. I think that's just fantastic news to me.
And I think, you know, part of the reason that I feel this role is very important to the mayor is because he wants to not only celebrate the successes of the big in the schools, what's happening in the schools, like you were mentioning, but also the small successes too. So indulge me for a minute, I want to tell you a story.
Okay.
Yesterday I had a chance to participate in Walk to School Day.
Right.
So I decided to take the deputy mayor, she and I went down to Campbell Park Elementary, and we walked the kids to school. And it was there that I met a woman named Tamika.
Okay.
Tamika is a volunteer who lives in the area, and she volunteers with United Way to make sure these kids get to school safely. She's unpaid. She shows up every morning to walk those children to school with snacks for them, because she knows that they might not get a nutritious meal the night before. And there's one student in particular that she's formed a very strong bond with, and she makes sure that that student, whose mother works at night after school, she cares for her after school. She keeps her at her house unpaid, voluntarily, after school every day. And then she turns around and goes and gets up the next morning and walks the kids to school the next day. She does that every day, 5 days a week. Now, why aren't we hearing more stories about Tamika?
Right.
Who's celebrating Tamika? Who's thanking Tamika?
Right.
And I hope that it's those small accomplishments that I'm able to bring to the forefront so people can start to look at the positives of what's happening in our city around education.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that, Leah, because that's what I was mentioning. I thought some things, their perception, it was some of the articles I put was somewhat overdrawn, because there was a lot of great work being done in a lot of schools, because I knew a lot of administrators and teachers and staff that was working there. You know, I think systemically there were some problems. Yes, I understood that, but I don't think it was brought on by the current people who was working so hard to turn this around. So I think what happened is, what I give credit to our administration here is, you know, you seen something and you did something about it. I mean, you cannot put it all on this current group or this current administration or this current set of principles or anything, because some stuff was rooted years ago, way before we got here. I think some people it was a slow leak and no one ever kind of got fixed, and became into this big problem. But I am very sure now with the changes, and I think the attention, that I don't think we're going to be talking about this next year. And I think I'm looking forward to the work you're going to do, and I want everyone out there to definitely get in touch with Leah. I think we're going exactly the right direction there. I don't think we need to read no more Tampa Bay Times articles about this. I think we need to get involved, at least what you should do if you want this change. And then I think we can move forward there. We're going to go to another commercial break. Leah, before we leave, anything would you like to say to anyone that maybe we missed that you would like them to get in touch with you, do anything else? You can end off our segment. Would you like to say anything?
I'll be reaching out to a lot of different people in the community. I want to talk to Dr. Brego, superintendent of Pinellas County Schools. Figure out if there's any way that we can offer support. We have a lot of really great things that are going on in the mayor's administration, initiatives that he really wants to put in place. Service learning is one of them. We want to roll that out into the public school system to make sure we get engaged citizens graduating from our schools. These students feel connected to the community. They'll want to see our community succeed, like you and I, products of the public school.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything that I could do to help support our schools, I'm going to make sure that I try to do with the help of everybody in the community.
We're 100% behind Leah, and I hope you are. I think we can really get a good patch this situation, fix it, and move up the scale chart. Instead of being like, we like to be first, because I think everybody want to be first. And then I think especially if you love your kids, you love the education system like I do and everyone else does, I think we all need to work with our administration, our new highly appointed individual is going to direct all the energy on that. And I think we should really see great results. Leah, after we finish, I would like you to meet our good friend Denise Ford again. Like I said, I've known her a long time. You'll be very impressed by some of the work, and I'm sure she's going to be a good advocate to help you out. Any help you need, any community outreach you have. So I think she has a great tutor program that she can definitely introduce. Again, this is your host, Toriana Parker, Hard Hitting Radio. We would like to thank our two great distinguished guests today, Kevin King and Leah McGray. Two great people from our city of St. Pete. I am so fortunate to have them on our show. I think we're at star status now. We can't get two big people like that and not look back. So, this is your Hard Hitting Radio. This is your host, Toriana Parker. I'll see you at the commercial break. Brother Jabari Edmonds from One Love Magazine. If you have film and production, marketing material, you call One Love Magazine. You call Brother Jabari Edmonds. He will put you in there. Great business owner, young enthusiast. You need to get in touch with Jabari Edmonds. You know how to reach him. Facebook, Twitter. It's 100 ways to get him. Come in our office on 833 22nd Street South. Come and see Brother Jabari Edmonds for all your marketing needs. Today, I have a very distinguished guest, Chris Warren. I've known this brother a while. He has done tremendous work in our school system, working with youth. I mean, you name it. I mean, if I had another segment, I could tell you all the stuff he do. But I want to leave some of that left for him to be able to speak to you. This is Chris Warren. Chris, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to take up some valuable time on this wonderful program today, bro.
Absolutely. Chris, let's go right into it. Can you tell us people what you're working on nowadays, Chris?
What we're doing right now is with my position with USF St. Pete is we're engaging in a program called Figuring It Out for the Child. We're addressing one of the major issues that our community is facing, and that's unwed parents. Rather than stand on the sidelines or kind of punish people for what we don't believe that they should be doing in terms of raising their children, we decided to come up with a solution. And that solution is to provide a resource and referral service to give the parents an opportunity to take care of the things that cause conflict between them. We understand that not all parents are going to be married, but we do understand that parents who work together create better developmental outcomes for their children. We see the effect of this in our school system. When the parents don't get along, the kids have developmental issues in developing emotionally and focusing on their schoolwork and developing socially as well. So we have to look at how we can get parents together to get on the same page in order to work things out for the child. You're looking at school engagement. If the parents are able to get past their relationship issues, they can work as a team to go confront issues at the school and confront issues on the streets. But the bottom line is we have to provide support for the parents as a unit.
Absolutely. Hey, engagement. If someone wanted to be in touch with Chris, what's the first step? How can I get in touch with you?
Well, in order to qualify for the program, we're looking for unmarried African American parents having their first child together. So as long as you are pregnant now and you and the father are willing to contact us as a unit, you can give a call in to our primary case manager named Mari Kittle. She's at 410-3935. That's 727-410-3935. And you can give her a call and we'll bring you in. We'll have an assessment. We'll feed you, give you a $25 gift card to Walmart just for participating. And the assessment is just for us to figure out ways that we can best help you. We can plug you in if you need childbirth help, if you need employment assistance, you need anger management assistance, you need any form of counseling or housing or any form of support that we can assist you with. We'll plug you in with that to ensure that weight is taken off of your back so that you and the father can both focus on the most important thing, and that's the development of the child. Right. So once you touch base and make contact, we'll do that assessment, and we'll begin to plug you in with the resource and referral network. Right. And continuing throughout the process, you can get up to $300 in gift cards and supports for the child, and you could also qualify for a series of sessions of co-parenting techniques where we teach you conflict resolution, anger management, different ways to communicate with each other on a positive level that has nothing to do with your romantic relationship.
Right.
You know, we want to build parents as adults, as two mature people who can say, you know what,
Right.
it doesn't matter that you and I are never going to be married. It doesn't matter that you and I are not going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but it does matter that you and I have to be able to effectively communicate so that our child can have the best possible future that we can put together as parents.
One key thing you said, Chris, I want to make sure now, audience listen, this got to be your first child, correct?
Yes, and now it doesn't have to be the woman's first child, but as long as it's the first child with this particular father.
Man or woman? Man could be his first child, or woman could be, or either.
No, the mom.
The
The
mom.
mom. This is their first child together.
Gotcha.
As a couple, this
yeah.
is their first child.
Okay, so if she already had previous kids, she could still.
He can have kids before, she can have kids
As long
before.
as together, that's different.
Right.
You heard that, absolutely. Just want to make sure people understand that, so therefore no one don't feel like they can be shunned out of this program.
Absolutely not.
Where are you located at, Chris?
We are at the USF St. Pete Family Study Center. The sessions, if you get involved, will take place at Mount Zion Progressive. Pastor Lewis Murphy has been an outstanding partner with us in supporting what we're doing.
Okay.
Mount Zion has always tried to be at the forefront of healing black families, so we really appreciate them allowing us to utilize their services, and even some of their employees are in great support of what we're doing. And also the Healthy Start program at All Children's Hospital.
Okay, great.
You know, Miss Kimberly Brown Williams has been an excellent partner with us as well.
Excellent.
Yes. We're very serious about what we're doing. We have 5 years to engage 150 families in St. Petersburg. And when you look at the effect of being able to put 150 African American families together on the South Side, you're looking at a tremendous impact. When you've got that many families of mothers and fathers working together as a team for their children, that's less crime, that's less violence, that's better education because the parents are involved in school, they're involved in extracurricular activities, they're involved in the child's life in every avenue. And we just want to make sure that we give them all the support and all of the training and resources that we can possibly muster over the next 5 years to make sure that the only thing that they have to worry about is that child that is before them. And we follow up. We don't just wait till you have the baby and then abandon you.
Right.
You know, we check in when the baby's born, 3 months after the baby's born, and then a year after the baby is born to make sure that you are still able to communicate and get the things done that you need to for the child, and to make sure that you receive the services that you needed that we recommended to you.
Because out of all the years being on this earth, I have never heard of a program that goes so deep to address such problems as that. That's a sword to our African American community, as what you just mentioned. I mean, to the T that has a follow-up a year from the process. I mean, I think that the thoroughness of it is just exceptional, and I think it's something I've never heard before. Is it any of this kind, anything of this kind before you guys got engaged?
No, that's really the great thing about it. Dr. Jamie McHale, the director of the Family Study Center, was very much at the forefront of the co-parenting revolution. You know, programs will help the mother, because they say ultimately the mother is the torchbearer for the family, and we agree that at the same time the father is absolutely critical as well. You know, a comedian once said, you know, I can drive a car with my feet, but that doesn't mean I should do it. You know, yes, a mother can raise a child by herself, but that doesn't mean she should have to do it. So we make sure that we address the mother and the father as a unit. We want to make sure that the father has everything that he needs so that he's comfortable and economically available to pay child support, and he has the supports that he needs to deal with all of the traumas that have happened to him, because we know a lot of these boys grew up without a father themselves, and it's very difficult to emulate something you've never seen. You know, my granddaddy always used to say, in order to be a man, you got to see a man. You know, so we're giving you that opportunity that if you did not have the blessing of seeing a man, we're going to give you what your father couldn't. We're going to give you that employment talk. We're going to give you that how to be there for your woman, how to be there for your child, how to be there for a woman who's not your woman but is the mother of your child, how to be there emotionally, how to be there in a supportive role, how to be engaged in the child's life in ways other than the traditional, you know, buying them clothes or dropping something off every once in a while. We you know, we're not here to villainize the black men, the black fathers. We're here to give them what they need, because we understand they haven't been given what they needed, and they haven't had the supports that are necessary for them to do what they need to do. So we are, you know, to answer your question, we are very revolutionary in our focus to say we're not just taking mothers, we're not just taking fathers. You come as a family.
I love it, Chris. Hey, can you tell us, our audience one more time, how could they get in touch with you again, just in case they missed it?
You can give a call to Mari Kittle at 727-410-3935, or you can call me at my office at 727-873-4848. We will take your call at any time. Like I said, we are looking to touch 150 families by 2020. That seems to be a big number around St. Pete these days. Yeah, by 2020, we're looking to have 150 families connected, supported, and absolutely ready to produce the best children that they can to help our city's future.
Chris, you got a good friend, Carl Lavin, done a great job over at P-Tech over there. Carl have a good event coming up on Tuesday. Can you tell everybody a little bit about that on the announcement for Carl Lavender?
So we also Carl Lavender is involved in our project with his role with Human Services. Right, if Carl is there, it's got to be good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I support that, brother.
Yeah, but he wants everybody to please come out to Pinellas Technical College, the St. Petersburg campus, open house on October 13th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. The entire staff will be on hand to answer questions regarding how you can get your GED, financial aid options, dual enrollment for high school students, earning college credits, career training programs, industry certifications, and so much more. There'll be door prizes and musical entertainment provided by the Lakewood High School Jazz Band. One time for the Spartans, class of '98, if you're with me.
We'll give you pinky clap because you're my guest, no doubt. Hey, you heard it. Guys, you just heard Chris Warren. Extraordinary work down at USF he's doing to help a problem that's been ailing our community for years. I'm glad to see today we have all results. Everything is a resolution to all our problems. Again, I like to thank my distinguished guest, Chris Warren. I really appreciate it. I definitely need to bring you back on the show because I like to do a follow-up on how some of these case studies are going, because I think we can see that positive note. I think we encourage a lot of people to maybe do better by themselves. Fathers do better by their kids, and even some mothers. I thank you again, Chris. I'd like to definitely end out the show. I thank everybody. Next week's guest was going to be Philip Garrett. He's running for District help me, District 5. I think you're having a guest in that. District 5. He's going head-to-head with Steve Cornell. So we look forward to seeing Philip Garrett on the show next week. I'm again your host, Toriana Parker. This is Hard Hitting Radio. Special shout outs again to our sponsor, One Love Magazine, Brother Jabari Edmonds. You do know how to reach him. And Sylvia's Cavalry 909. We got our famous Lorraine Seafood House, in addition to closing out Sylvia's Soul Food Restaurant, all located on the Deuces. Come down and see us. Hey, this is your host, Toriana Parker. I will see you next Thursday at 12:15 on your Hard Hitting Radio. This is Toriana Parker. Thank you. Great.